What's going on, man? Back with another show, Real Sports Talk with T. Will. Hey, man, we got a lot of things to get into today. I'm gonna try to stay under 30 minutes today. We've been out of town for a while. Uh, hadn't had time to really shoot a show, but there's been a lot that's been going on since I shot my last show, and we just wanted to bring some things uh, to the forefront today to talk about. And one of the main things I wanted to talk about here is the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime, and how I don't think people realize that it's going to be very, very, very difficult for him to even get um, a team that's even going to be able to compete for a Big 12 title. And I say that because when you're in a location like Colorado, you're not near a lot of beaches. It's not Miami, you know. It's not USC. It's not, Dallas or, attractive spot. Somebody that wants to go to University of Colorado is either going there for Coach Prime or you're willing to snub all the other offers that they're getting to go to that program. And the only reason that Colorado was even good is not because of Coach Prime, is because Shador Sanders was actually a really good quarterback. It was because Travis Hunter was a very good player. It was because he was able to get Jimmy Horn. It was because he was able to get LeJontay Wester. And these guys that they had Nikhai Hill Green last year. He's a starting linebacker for Alabama. You had Colton Hood. He was a corner that didn't even start at Colorado, which is very sad to see him leave like that because he really didn't get the opportunity he needed to get there, and he left. Um, when you combined Shador and Travis leaving, and all the other top flight talent that they had leaving, they had real NFL players now to the guys that they have. Um, I didn't really watch Liberty. Everybody was saying that this kid, Salter, was a top recruit coming out of high school, committed to Tennessee. But for me, it just doesn't seem like he's going to be the guy that's going to be able to lead this team to a lot of victories. And when you look at that, they don't have Shador at quarterback. They don't have no Travis. They don't have a running game. They don't have a D line. They got corners that just, get physical fitness workouts. It's going to be really, really hard to get players to attract them to come to a product that doesn't look that good. And no matter how popular Coach Prime is, no matter how many fans they have that support Coach Prime and all that, it's not really on him. It's really the location and the school and the I want to say the tradition that they don't have. Just imagine Coach Prime at LSU or Texas A&M or University of Texas or Florida or Florida State. These are schools that actually have the money to go get the players that you need. And also, what people don't realize is that a lot of kids growing up, they got their dream schools. I've never, even being a kid from Michigan, I've never heard anybody saying, I want to go play for Colorado. When we was growing up, you always heard USC, Reggie Bush and them was popping, LSU, uh, Texas with Vince Young, Florida with Tim Tebow, um, Florida State with Peter Warwick and them, Miami with Clinton Portis, McGahee, Sean T, Every. Like these schools are gonna get recruits just based off of their name. Colorado is not a school that can get players based off of their name. That they don't. You see the M, you see Ohio State, you see the logo has more power than what people realize. The fans, the colors, the jerseys, the brand. You want to wear Jordan brand, you want to wear Nike, You know what I'm saying? You want to wear scarlet and gray. You want to wear maize and blue. Um, you want to wear orange and blue. You know what I'm saying? You want to wear burnt orange and white. You want to go to Oklahoma. Like, shit. I remember back when West Virginia was popping and they had Pat White and then Slayton and them. They was hot. You know what I'm saying? Nebraska used to be hot in the 90s. Like, all these schools somehow get legacy recruits or recruits just off of the name and the brand that they have. Colorado, over the years, they have not had a name and a brand that people are just like, yeah, I'm gonna turn down Miami and go to Colorado, or I'm gonna turn down Texas A&M and go to Colorado, or I'm gonna turn down LSU and go to Colorado. The only reason they're getting any kind of recruits, period, is because Coach Prime is there. Once he leaves, it's gonna be really bad. Okay, he has the star power to get some talent, but the school doesn't have enough power to get more talent. And I think that's where you fall in a difficult spot with Coach Prime because, I know he knows that he's not going to be able to get the caliber team, caliber players to be able to compete with any of these schools like Clemson or any any of those schools, even SMU, even though they knew the ACC, they got a lot of money. Texas Tech, they got a lot of money. Um, they just, you know, unless they get guys that are going to stay for 4 years and grind and develop and get better, then maybe they can do it that way. But as far as getting top tier talent, and I know everybody is ragging on them and everything like that, you can be a great coach, but you're only as good as the players that you got on the team. I don't care how many motivational speeches you put out there. I don't care um, what you say to him before the game, after the game, on the bus. If the guys are not the guys, then they're just not the guys. Um, and it's sad to see that he went through all those health issues, and he was willing to get the quicker process done just so he can get back to his team, because you can tell by the way he talks, the emotion, the feelings. He cares about being successful. He wants it really bad. But between the players that they have and the mindset and attitudes that they have, it just don't seem like they have that heart or even enough talent to even compete at a high level. To go to Utah and get embarrassed like that, when you know that your coach went through all these health issues and stuff like that, man, that's tough. That's tough. And, you know, I know it hurts Coach Prime deep down because, when you want something real bad for somebody else and they don't even want it for themselves, that that hurts. That hurts. And I just wanted to put that in perspective on why I think that it's going to be really, really hard to be a Big 12 champion with, like I said, location, school. And then a lot of people don't really think about this, but the stadium size. Top recruits want to play in a stadium that's big. They want to play, you know, against the big time teams. They want to be in front of 100,000, you know, and yeah, Colorado has a nice stadium, but it's not really a lot of things that would attract prospects to just go there unless they really wanted to go there and they really wanted to step up and they really wanted to change the culture. And you're not really gonna get guys like that because now it's all about NIL and how much exposure you can get. And if you ain't winning at Colorado, you ain't gonna be on the big networks. And like they getting thrown, I think they getting thrown on HBO Max this week or something like that. So yeah, man, it's sad to see. Uh, I was really hoping that they was gonna push through. Maybe they proved me wrong, but when you don't have a brand and you don't have a legacy and you don't have a very very strong tradition where people can just be like, "Here's an offer from Miami," and they go there just off of that, then it's gonna be really tough to build that program. So I'm wishing the best for those guys, and hopefully it can change it, but it's looking real, real tough right now. Um, What else we got? Um, we got the NFL tonight. Thursday night football. What we got? What we got? Trying to see here. Dang, man. Yeah. We got mm, 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 mm. Okay. We got the Ravens versus the Miami Dolphins. Um, they're giving the Ravens a 62% chance to win. I just can't believe the Ravens is 2-5, bro. Uh, I like Lamar. I was really hoping he was gonna get a chance to win the Super Bowl this year, but things are looking very bleak. Um, and the Miami's coming off a win last week. It's in Miami. Lamar from Florida, his first game back. He might be ready to just show out tonight. Um, the Ravens defense isn't as good as what it used to be, but I think it's still good enough to give Tua some issues, give him some problems, and they let Derrick Henry tote the rock and do his thing. And it could be a close game. You never really know. I mean, both of these teams only got 2 wins. So you never really know with the NFL. You can think one thing's gonna happen and then another thing's happen. But as of right now, I'm gonna go with the Baltimore Ravens, looking to bounce back again to get, you know, a closer step, I should say, to trying to make the postseason. We shall see about that. With the amount of money that they spent on this roster, with the amount of talent that they have on this roster, they should be a top team. But at 2-5, you can't really afford a lot of losses right now. You pretty much got to win dang near all your games if you're really looking at being a good seed or even at least a wild card. So it's gonna be interesting tonight. Can't wait to watch this game. I'm getting ready to check it out. It's gonna be I think it's gonna be a better game than what everybody think it is. A lot of people saying they're not gonna watch it, but I'm tuning in. I'm telling you that right now. Um, there's another game I wanted to talk about here. It's Vandy versus Texas. Man, I think Steve Sarkisian escaped being highly criticized and losing to Mississippi State last week. Uh, I don't know how they came back from that game because they was down a lot of points. I didn't watch the rest of the game because I thought it was over. So I can't really say exactly how they came back. But Mississippi State had them by the neck and they let them get off the hook. Um, but at the beginning of the season, when I saw the Texas home slate, I was like, man, they do not have a lot of good home games like they did last year. And now Vanderbilt coming in, this is looking like a game because if Texas lose this game, they definitely losing to Texas A&M because everybody had me believing that Arch Manning was going to be this top guy, he was going to be this great guy, and that hasn't been the truth. And this Pavia kid got Vanderbilt going, got him popping, and I think you know it's gonna be. They saying Vanderbilt only got a 28% chance to win, but it seemed like every time Texas got a game that they supposed to win at home, man, they end up not playing well. They start off slow. I don't know if Arch is even cleared to play. We'll see that because he hit his head pretty hard on the ground, but this is a game right here that I think if Texas lose this, people are going to be questioning Steve Sarkisian and probably saying that they need to change that coach because they have not been able to win the big games. They get there, but when it's time to win the big games, they lose. They lost to um, Ohio State, and then they lost to the year before they lost to Washington. And it seems like they can get there, but they just can't finish the job. And when you paying as much money as they paying for their rosters in Texas, I mean, they got 5 stars sitting on the sideline drinking Gatorade. They got 5 stars, ain't even gonna see the field. They got talent everywhere. And that's what's really crazy. And then to see them even struggle against Kentucky, man, that was tough. That was a tough watch. So I don't know what's going on with Texas. Uh, I was expecting them to be one of the top teams, but ever since that Ohio State game at the beginning of the season, it seems like their stock is just going down. And then you lost to a coach that don't even have his job no more. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. And especially like I said, the amount of money that they spending on the roster, they're expecting results in Austin. They don't play that crap. If you ain't winning the championship, they don't care if you competitive. They want to win the championship. So you didn't win the SEC championship last year. You didn't win a national championship last year. You lost to Washington the year before in a big game. When are you gonna deliver, Sarkeesian? And I think the Texas fans are growing impatient and saying, "Hey, man, we gave y'all the money. We supporting y'all. We got y'all back. Y'all said Arch was this. Now show us." Because if you lose to Vanderbilt, I don't really know. Even though the game's at home, I don't know how Texas A&M ain't thinking we about to smash y'all when we come to Austin. It's a big rivalry game. You know, Texas A&M is looking very, very tough, and I think it's going to be real, real hard for Texas to bounce back if they lose this game against Vanderbilt. So that's one to check out. And I think I had like one more game I was looking at. Um, was it this one? Was it yeah, UGA, the Florida Gators. Now everybody may think that this ain't gonna be a good game, but Florida got good talent. And for some reason in rivalry games, Georgia comes out slow. And I'm gonna keep my eye on this game. I think you guys should as well. And it's obviously an obvious pick to pick Georgia, but I think that this is gonna be a better watch than what everybody's saying. So this might be a low key, sneaky close game. So I think you guys might want to check it out. I know Florida's not competing for nothing, but in these rivalry games, anything can happen. So just seeing how Texas went to Mississippi State and almost lost, who say Georgia can't lose? And then you had that Georgia Tech game that went to like a million overtimes last year. Anything is possible on any given day in a football game. So I want y'all to check that out. Just something I thought I might bring that up for y'all. All right. And last but not least, I wanted to talk about the NBA scandals and stuff like that. Man, it's sad to see, um, a guy like Chauncey. Um, I know he played for my hometown Pistons, and just to see that he was involved in anything like that, it's disappointing. And I wonder, like, how many other people were affected by this. People who bet their hard-earned money on these games, um, and this the stuff that Terry Rozier did, man. That's jacked up. That's jacked up, man. Like, you don't compromise the integrity of the game so you can win people some money when you making $25 million when y'all done made over $100 million in y'all career and y'all just getting greedy. Um, And there's people out here struggling and they can't even get they food. And y'all out here doing stuff like this. It's sad. It's disappointing. Um, and it's probably another reason why I remember I used to watch the NBA all the time, man. I just don't watch it no more because it's some bull. Like it's only been 4 games in the season, and these dudes is already sitting out on the sideline, like they got some injury that is just hampering them for the rest of the year. Like it's crazy. How do you expect people to pay 200, $300 per ticket to come sit down, parking, and all this and that, and then we come to the game and you guys don't even want to play? Like I remember one time, I think it was probably a couple years that we had came back from Afghanistan, and it was LeBron, D Wade, Chris Bosh. They was all coming to San Antonio, and me and my boy we had got tickets, and I was like, "Yo, let's go to San Antonio. I ain't ever been to the AT&T Center. Let's go check it out." So on my way to the game, after I done bought the ticket is bought. We get there, and they tell everybody that LeBron, D Wade, and I think Chris Bosh didn't play. I know for sure LeBron and D Wade was in the back. People was going to the counter talking about they wanted to get their money back because these dudes weren't playing. I was mad as hell. The starting lineup was like Chris Bosh. I think he was in there, but I only came to see D Wade and LeBron. I didn't come to see Ray Allen. I didn't come to see Bosh. I didn't come to see Mario Chalmers. I didn't even come to see the Spurs. I came to see the Miami Heat, LeBron and D Wade. That's what I was coming to see. That was it. That was all. And we was mad as hell because we had spent our money. We had drove a few hours to go to the game and paid $25 for parking. And we military people, so it ain't like we just balling like that. You know what I'm saying? And we get there and these dudes ain't playing. And I think it was like one of the only games that they was coming to San Antonio. So I'm like, damn, this is the only game I got to catch D Wade and LeBron, and they in the back in the locker room. And then come to find out, Popovich did the same thing when the Spurs went to Miami, and I guess it was like Miami getting them back for what they did to their fans. But I'm just like, man, see, this is childish. Like, if you're a professional player, you should be playing every game unless you're severely injured. And that's why the NBA is not the same product anymore. That's why it's not exciting, because the fans believe since you don't care, we don't care. If you don't care, we don't care. At least in football, these dudes only got so many years to play. They got serious injuries, concussions, torn rotator cuffs, torn Achilles, this displaced knee, all kind of crazy stuff. These dudes is playing a gladiator sport. And it's exciting because you know that these dudes is going out there giving it their all. But then you got the NBA where you literally in air conditioning all the time. You on a controlled environment on a court. You ain't got no snow, no rain, none of that. You ain't got to worry about none of that. You just got to worry about getting on the court and playing. And these dudes don't want to show up. And it's sad, man. It's sad that the NBA game has came to this. You look at David Stern's NBA versus Adam Silver's NBA, and they are not the same. They are not. And I just wanted to end the show on that note, just talking about it because, man, I used to love basketball so much, and now I just can't. Whenever the game come on, I just turn that shit off because I watch Shaq and Kenny and them and Charles, but I'm not watching the game because these dudes just don't play hard, or they got people in the game that you don't know. Like the Celtics had people in the game that didn't nobody even know the other night. And I was like, man, turn that crap off. I'll watch a rerun of a 1995 game between the Cowboys and the Steelers before I watch that. I'm telling you, that's just what it is. The NBA is going down the drain. If they want to keep their product, then they need to keep the stars on the court and stop all this bull crap. They just need to stop it. So with that, I'm gonna leave y'all, and I hope y'all have a great rest of y'all evening. Enjoy Thursday night football, and I'm gonna get with y'all. Peace.